This is example 5 from lesson R.2. In this example, we have 3 radicals that we need to simplify, 3 radical expressions. Okay, for part A, we've got the 4th root of d to the 7th. Now, keep in mind that our index here tells us how many of the same thing we need on the inside, how many of the similar factors we need to have. Now, d to the 7th is actually d times d 7 times. All right, and here is a group of 4, so that means I can pull a d out in front of the radical. Now I've only got 3 of them left over. Remember, I need 4 altogether, so those 3 are actually going to have to remain underneath the radical there. And don't forget to put that index back on there. That's a common mistake on a test and on homework. All right, 45 will come off over here to the side, just like we did with the 125 earlier. All right, 45, since it ends in 5, I know 5 is going to go into it. All right, and it's actually 5 times 9. Now 9 will break down into 3 times 3. And now I'm going to look at all of my circled numbers. This is a square root, so I'm looking for 2 of the same factor. I have 2 3s, so that means I can bring a 3 out in front of the radical. Now I have a 5 left over in a circle, and there's no other 5 circled. There are no other 5 factors there, so that one is going to have to stay underneath the radical sign. And 3 square roots of 5 is the simplified form for the square root of 45. All right, now for our last one, we've got 54 times x to the 13th times y to the 8th, and we're taking the cube root of this. All right, so let's look at 54. This is actually 6 times 9, and 6 is actually 2 times 3, and 9 is actually 3 times 3. All right, now my index here is a 3, and I have 3 3s here, so I can bring 1 out into the front of the radical. The 2 is going to have to stay underneath though, because I don't have 2 more similar factors for it. All right, so let's take a look at the x. I've got 13 x's. And I'm looking at groups of 3, so here's 3, here's 3 more, here's 3 more, and here's 3 more. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3. So I can bring an x out into the front of the radical there, and I'm going to put a 4 exponent on it because I had 4 groups of 3. This x is going to have to stay underneath the radical though, because I don't have 2 more x's to go with it. All right, and then let's look at our y to the 8th. I need groups of 3. Here are 3 y's. Here are 3 more y's. There's only 2 y's there, so I can bring a y out in the front. I'm going to put a 2 exponent on it because I had 2 groups of 3. These 2 y's are going to have to stay underneath because remember I needed 3 of the same thing. I only have 2 of them left. Okay. All right, so now we go to build the radical part. This is a cube root. We've got a 2 left over. We've got an x left over. And we have 2 y's or a y squared left over. And so this is the simplified form for that.